Hey, I'm Steph, and I'm obsessed with all things travel, marketing, branding, and helping you stand out from the crowd. In just under 2 years, I went from being a home-based travel agent with zero clue how to make it work in the digital world to launching an international ranking travel podcast and creating an online course to help travel agents in lead generation. Here's one thing I know for sure. There has never in the history of the world been a better time to create the travel business you've always wanted. All you need is an actionable strategy and someone to show you the way. Picture this, we're going to spend the next hour of our time together at the Swim Up Pool Bar, where over a cocktail, we deep dive into travel-related topics, mixed with a little classroom training. This show is dedicated to encouraging you to step outside of your comfort zone and into your travel business. I'll show you how I did it and how you can too. Hit subscribe now and let's get into it. If you're a travel agent wanting to onboard your perfect fit clients into your biz, download my free cheat sheet for lead generation systems you can use right now. Head to stephaniemyers.academy/cheat sheet. You're listening to Unplug in Paradise, the podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Travel by Stephanie, the social podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Myers. I'm so excited to be here, airing my very first podcast. As a travel agent, I am super pumped to share my passion of travel with you and talk about one of my favourite topics, what inspires you to travel? Where and how do we cultivate inspiration and desire to travel? Well, as this is my first episode, I thought I would take this opportunity to share a little more about me and where I gather my inspiration from. In later podcasts, I look forward to sharing more and more with you, but for my first show, let's start at the ground roots. My why I do what I do, and why I love it so much. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get into it. To give you an insight into my role as a travel agent, I have been truly blessed with the pleasure of creating some pretty amazing experiences for my clients. I have been in travel for over 12 years now, to be exact, and I remember the moment when one of my TAFE teachers mentioned in conversation with the class that travel agents will be obsolete in 10 years' time. While I've had a bit of time to process this comment, this has always stuck with me as it immediately instilled fear into my mind that the amount of countless hours and time I've spent studying this tourism course, it wouldn't be something I could pursue long term. Mostly due to the threat of online travel companies merging into the marketplace and pushing travel agents out of the picture completely. Now, I can see why they were fearful at the time. Although I can say this with complete confidence, and many of my clients would most likely verify this with me, travel agents are not dead. We are far from it. The travel industry is at an all-time high as we speak. We are professionally trained. The systems we use is like learning a foreign language. We are constantly updating our knowledge of destinations, and we are always reaping the reward by making miracles happen daily for our clients and sharing the passion of travel with them. Another thing I wanted to mention is to play it safe in regards to online booking engines. Perhaps this is another topic that I can cover in another podcast. Let me know if you would like my thoughts on this. Anyway, back to when I was in my job after finishing school, wondering what I was going to be when I grew up. Because strangely enough, I never knew at school what I wanted to be when I grew up, and by the sounds of things, I don't think anybody bloody knew. It took a few years to figure out that my entire Year 12 class were all just as confused as each other. And we've all gone in our different directions, directions that we didn't even know that we would even go down. I was working at my local surf shop at the time, and it was during the Christmas holidays where something really special happened to me. Having been in the surf shop for a few years prior, I felt like my calling was going to take me somewhere within the surf industry. Well, at least I had my fingers crossed and hoped for the best anyway. Back to the Christmas holidays, a lady from the Gold Coast was in town staying for the summer. She came into the shop and tried on a rusty dress. Now, I can tell you the fabric that it was made out of, like the back of my hand. It was a terry toweling. And each day I'd follow her to the change room and ask her how she felt, as she had tried on this dress day after day for at least 2 or 3 days before coming in on this last occasion. I unknowingly listed all the benefits and features of this dress, and to me, I thought I had this in the bag, literally. She was so polite as the woman turned and gave the dress back to me to hang up. She excused herself and said it wasn't for her, but she hoped I didn't mind saying that her husband was a professor from Griffith University on the Gold Coast, and he taught tourism. She asked me, she said, "Have you ever considered doing tourism as a career? I think you would be really good at it." Oh, my gosh, what a nice thing to say, except there I was, a 19-year-old stunned mullet, wondering what on earth tourism was. I asked, and she said her famous last words before leaving the shop: "Google it." From then, the perfect opportunity presented itself, and within the new year, I signed up to study my diploma in Tourism Operations Management at TAFE New South Wales Wollongbar campus. So whereabouts do we go for travel inspiration? It's interesting to see how the different generations draw their inspiration from, as there is such a mix of media out there which purposefully cater to different age groups. I know from experience that our older generation tend to watch a lot of TV, or listen to the radio, or flick through the Sunday paper and gather newspaper clippings. And there is something really beautiful and sweet about when my older clients come to me with something they've snipped out of the paper and have asked me to book it in for them. It's a traditional way of doing things, I suppose, as in this day and age, we're quite happy to spend money and not necessarily need anything tangible to take away from our purchases. Geez, when I think about it, we don't even really handle real money anymore, or checks. Everything is just electronic. The younger generations, however, the millennials, including myself, we're overloaded with travel inspo. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got Pinterest, we've got Snapchat, we've got Google Images, we've got YouTube, we've got Twitter. The list goes on. Also, TV advertising with ads and TV shows showcasing the world, with Getaway being an old-time favourite. I used to love Getaway. I still do, secretly. I'm not sure if you've ever seen Hello World. It has its own TV show now, which is absolutely fantastic if you're looking for inspo for your next holiday. The good thing about it is MTA Mobile Travel Agents and Hello World are affiliates. So any exclusive deals they advertise on their TV show or anywhere within their marketing, if they've got it, I can get it too. I've also noticed a shift in the way that we get inspired when it comes to travelling. We are way more confident to dream about the exact trip we actually want to do, whether it's hiking through the Canadian Rockies, sailing through the Greek islands, skiing in Japan, or wandering the back streets of Italy, searching for that perfect place to settle in for the afternoon and enjoy some real local handmade delicacies. Yum. The world is really at our fingertips now more than ever. I really love working with my clients, helping them draw out exactly what it is that they see in their journey ahead. What do they see when they shut their eyes? What do they dream about? What are their bucket list items? and what are their non-negotiables. And in that very natural and organic way, they soon find the meaning behind their journey. And I'll tell you right now, that right there is pure magic. Because I know it's authentic and unique to them. I can feel their passions, and that gives me the rocket fuel to craft the perfect itinerary to suit just them. Even their adventurous and wanderlust next door neighbours could never, ever replicate these types of experiences. This is where I feel different in the way that I feel inspired. I guess, in fact, I draw so much energy and inspiration from being able to create these amazing itineraries. And as I'm creating them, I actually feel like I'm there, ingrained as part of their journey. I totally love that saying that the journey starts with the travel agent. It is so true. And for me, it is one of the best feelings in the world. And I have my special clients to thank for that. So thank you for giving me the honour of creating your dream holidays and for allowing me to rely on my industry contacts and together providing you with my recommendations and suggestions. And most of all, trusting me with your business. That's huge. So thank you to you. I look forward to creating more memorable travel experiences for you. Now, if you're thinking you'd like to do some traveling, whether you've got something in the pipeline already or you're currently dreaming up a trip with some friends or looking to go solo, there are a few conversations you probably need to have just to keep things as realistic as possible. One conversation is most likely going to be about budget. There is nothing wrong with traveling on a budget. However, whether you're a first-time traveler or even a seasoned traveler, whether you're 20 years old or 70 years old, this conversation is definitely going to give you the scope you need to start planning. Another one is discussing your dream destinations. I actually find it easier to settle on a destination when I'm traveling solo, as I feel like I have a specific interest in that destination and I hear it calling my name. When traveling with friends or within a group, sometimes it's based around a mutual interest, like you may like, say, Japan, for example. You might like their manga culture or it could be anything really, like if you like skiing, if you like to go to New Zealand. It could just be based on whatever that you have mutually with your friends. Or it could be a case of, hey, my family friends just came back from there. I want to go there too. Or, hey, my neighbours stayed there. I really love the look of that resort. I want the exact same experience as them. It sounds so amazing. It's totally okay to draw inspiration from others, as this is what this podcast episode has been all about. But please, let's dig a little bit deeper here. What about the destination is it that is actually drawing you there? Is it very high up on your bucket list? Or are you finding yourself being convinced or convincing someone else to share your passion? Either way, I'm sure it will be one hell of an adventure, but make sure it's one that you're ready to take. Another important tip would be seek professional advice. Travel agents, we're amazing. We aren't just employed to sit behind a desk and look pretty. Or if you prefer to book your travel privately with a mobile travel agent like myself, we're able to give you that little bit more flexibility. So seek us out. I'm here to help you get the most out of your holiday. And at the end of the day, that's my profession. I plan holidays every single day. It's what I love to do. And I'm so lucky and blessed to be able to share my passion of travel with you. As not only is it fulfilling for you, it's pretty fulfilling for me as well. Travel agents are worth their weight in gold. Well, that was episode 1 of Travel by Stephanie, the social podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have really enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, as I don't want you missing out on any of my brand new episodes. I also know it's early days, but if you feel like leaving me a 5-star review, it would mean so much to me. If you feel like you have any friends or family that would really like to tune in, feel free to share my podcast with them too. That would be awesome. Also, if you would like to follow me on my journey, please jump on to Instagram at travel.by.stephanie or like me on Facebook at Stephanie Myers, MTA Mobile Travel Advisor. Drop by, say hi. I'd really like to hear from you. And if you've got any questions regarding this podcast, why not flick me an email? My address, Stephanie M for Myers, Stephanie M at mtatravel.com.au, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. So I have so many topics I want to share with you, but if you have anything in particular you would like for me to cover, drop me a message and I'll be sure to address these in my upcoming episodes. Before I go, I'd like to share a quote with you. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbour, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Thanks, Mark Twain. Thanks again for listening. I'm your host, Stephanie Myers, signing off until next time. See you soon.